Now, there's something that we need to get right off the bat when we're talking about a distended or bloated tummy. Now, many people actually believe that they have this distended or bloated tummy, which they may very well do. But what you need to get right first is, do you have systemic weight? You know, are you carrying weight all over your body in kind of equal proportions? And that's really important to understand, because your problem may just be that you need to clean up your diet, sort out your exercise, maybe introduce some fasting, reduce your stress and improve your sleep, and get those things right first before taking a look at this distended or bloated tummy. If you do have this systemic weight and it is all over, as you begin to lose weight, pay attention to the tummy to understand whether this is actually fat that you can actually grip hold of, or whether this is like a painful protrusion of the tummy where it really does feel like actual bloating. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to get sorted straight away and understand about yourself before taking a look at this. Now, if you were to take a look on a website, like a health website or something on Dr. Google, what you'd find is what they would say the cause of this distended tummy is things like IBS or IBD, which is irritable bowel disease, heartburn, weight gain, hormonal flux or hormonal imbalances, mental health, or FGIDs. Okay, so if you were to take a look around online, they'd probably tell you that that is the cause of this distended tummy. But I can guarantee that what they're not telling you is that many of these things here, or what they're perceiving or they're telling you are the cause of your distended tummy, actually they are all related. Very important to understand. All of these tend to be very, very related. And the one I'm going to pick out first is mental health, okay? Mental health, which then points towards stress, okay? So to be able to understand this, I just need to take you through a couple of bits over here. And when we're talking about stress, how in the world does this affect your gut? Now, what you need to understand is that you may think, I'm not stressed. Now, actually, most of society is stressed because we're doing things which are radically different to how our body was designed. We were designed to deal with very short-term stress like danger and things like that, okay? But now it's stress all day long. And if you think you're not experiencing stress and you do have this distended tummy, take a step back now, take a look at what your life is like and look at what your work is like, how you deal with things, how you look at things, how you react to things. You may just be used to that stress, okay? So definitely take a look at your life. So when it comes to stress and how it affects the gut, in actual fact, okay, when we were in our mother's tummy and we were developing, okay, what we have is this kind of tissue going on here, which gradually separates over time, and what is formed of that same tissue is the brain and the gut, okay? This is crucial to understand. The brain and the gut are formed of the same tissue. This is why when you're nervous about something, you get butterflies down here, okay? And you have a gut feeling about things. That's because the gut actually contains neurons, which is really, really interesting. But because they're formed of the same tissue, what happens is that when you're experiencing vast amounts of stress in the brain, these two tissues are still connected by the vagus nerve, and what happens is the stress impacts the brain, which then in turn impacts the gut. And this constant stress, which is up here, is constantly affecting the gut, which is causing irritable bowel syndrome, irritable bowel disease, heartburn. This is an interesting one. When you're stressed all of the time, actually you produce less hydrochloric acid in the stomach, which actually causes heartburn. So don't think that you're actually producing too much hydrochloric acid. Actually, you're producing less. Okay. Also, hormonal imbalances, which I'll talk about in a second. Mental health. It's all connected. So these things are, yes, affecting your distended tummy, but the cause of these things normally comes down to stress and a poor diet, which I'll talk about in a minute down here. Okay, so crucial to understand. Now let me just talk about the adrenals and talk about hormonal balance. Okay, so because the adrenals are responsible for 50 plus hormones and balancing those, okay, you have, let me take a look, right? Think about those kids' mobiles in the room. They used to hang from the ceiling, not so much nowadays, but they had sticks coming off and then string off those, and they'd wobble and balance about and they'd keep the kid entertained. Well, you can think about your hormones a bit like that, okay? And the adrenals are responsible for 50 plus hormones, but one of the ones they are pretty much going to be active in nowadays is producing cortisol, which is a stress hormone. Now, when you're constantly pulling down on the mobile, on the cortisol one, then the whole mobile has to balance. And when you're constantly pulling on one, you send the rest out of balance. And this is what causes hormonal flux, okay? That's an important one to understand, all right? So what we got causing these things is this stress, and the stress is causing you to pull on the adrenals and producing cortisol all the time, sending other hormones out of whack, and also it is causing gut problems down here. It's constantly sending signals down, connected by the vagus nerve to the gut, causing irritability down here. And that is what's going to cause this inflammation and this distendation down there, okay? Now, also what can cause this down here is also medications. Now, back when I was a personal trainer many moons ago, there was a lady that was kind of doing the rounds with the personal trainers, trying to get her gut to come down. Now, this lady had stick arms, stick legs. She was lean everywhere else, but she had this distended tummy. And each time she would go to a PT, they would sort her out with an ab routine. Now, if you don't understand what's going on with medications and the human body in depth, then most PTs are going to head towards reducing this gut by doing endless abdominal training. Now, when she came to me, my first question was, are you on any SSRIs or antidepressants? And the answer was a resounding yes. And I said to her, to reduce your gut, you're going to have to work on your mindset and overcoming the depression and your thoughts, which will allow you to come off the medication, which will allow your stomach to reduce. So that was what I did, and eventually that happened. Lucky her. So important one to understand is if you're on SSRIs and antidepressants and you're experiencing distended bloated tummy, this could be the cause. And so your goal actually is not sit-ups and things like that. Your goal is to address the actual root cause of the problem to allow you to come off those SSRIs. The next thing is antibiotics. Antibiotics will cause or can cause a distended tummy. The solution is to try and make yourself sauerkraut, kimchi, and also take probiotics. That will help to heal that area. You've got birth control pills. Why not try various other methods? You've got anti-inflammatories. They cause massive problems with the gut, particularly the lining. Okay, you've got steroids and you've got the medication codeine as well. So any alternatives you can find there, if you're experiencing this gas and bloating, it's just not worth it. I'm sure you'll be able to find some alternatives to solutions to these medications, or take a look through any of the other videos on my channel to be able to discover any solutions there. The next one is ascites. Ascites is actually a condition where your liver isn't functioning properly. So the liver cells are actually replaced by scar tissue. And that's causing your liver to not work correctly and is actually causing fluid retention here. And how do you get to that stage? Well, it's basically liver abuse. It's going to be drinking, but also mostly what many people miss out is a very, very poor diet, and a diet which is dominant in processed carbohydrates. Okay, so you can tell that actually the alternative to this and to begin to heal this is actually to maybe come on a free program like I produce, which is the Kokoro free health and weight loss program. You can gain access to that 100% free. The link to that will be in the description around this video, and that will help you to overcome that, and I can help you to overcome that. But just bear in mind that it's liver damage causing fluid retention here, which is causing you to be bloated, okay, down there. Now, once you've worked on all of these, okay, and worked on your stress, if you think that any of these are your problem, and found alternatives to those, then you've got two other things to look at. That's food combining and food intolerance. Food intolerance, you can get yourself a test and work out what your food intolerances are only after you've dealt with these things. And also food combining. Again, another test that you can do, and do testing with yourself. One predominant one that many people do is eating fruit after a very, very heavy meal, leaving this fruit to ferment at the top on top of all this other food. If you're going to have fruit, it's best to have that come through. Another common one is eating melon with other foods. But food combining is another topic for another video. Take a look on the channel and you'll be able to find an answer to that. So hopefully this has given you some answers as to why you might have this distended tummy, and prevent you from doing the wrong thing like sit-ups and things like that. To be able to reduce it, you can actually take some alternative methods and breathe a sigh of relief into your training program. Okay, so if this video has been of value to you, then please, at the very least, share this with your friends and family. Next, you can buy me a coffee. A link to that is in and around the description of this video, and I'd very much appreciate if you could do that. That'd be amazing, showing your appreciation for the information that you're getting. And lastly, I mentioned my Kokoro free health and weight loss program, which again, access to is available in the description in this video, and that will have all of your workouts, all of your training, the support from me, the coaching from me, recipes, workouts, and the actual program step by step to follow. If you've got any questions, then please ask those questions in the description and the comments of this video, and I'll look forward to seeing you in another one real soon.